Hey everybody, here's my second edition of this episodes in artificial intelligence. And I'm joined again by Manuj, and of course he's from TerraNoodle. We'll get all the information in his in the actual story, in the writing part of the story. But there's so many things happening literally every day, right? It just feels like in dog years, like 1 week is like a year now. Um, but whatever that is, things are moving, and it's moving so fast that you got to be on top of this. It's moving too fast. And so, what has happened since last spoke to Manuj? Well, a lot, and he's now got into bed, I could say, with the folks at Mensa. So let's talk about this, Manuj. First of all, welcome, man. How are you doing?
Thank you, thank you. No, I'm doing fantastic. A lot of good things. As you said, things are moving so fast, both at the macro level, micro level. So I'm excited to bring more updates, more insights. Uh, yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah, let's talk first of all this Mensa thing, man. It seems like, man, it's like, whoa, what happened? What is it about?
Yeah. See, Mensa is the foundation that conducts IQ test, IQ research globally. So they are the organization of the top 2% IQ people in the world. Like when you say Mensa, it's like all the geniuses belong to that. So
Yeah.
they are now researching what does it mean to be intelligent as a human in the age of AI, artificial intelligence, because their average IQ score in the Mensa Foundation is around 130. Okay, average humans IQ score is around like 80 to 90. So they are all geniuses. Now, Chat GPT today has an IQ of 150. So then they are saying, okay, how, like everybody's an Einstein now. Like, how do we now say who is intelligent or not? But the idea is not about competing with AI. The idea is about joining forces with AI so that the human intelligence works with artificial intelligence. So this is the dilemma that most people are facing. So what I did was based on my 20 years of experience in AI, 30 years in the business, I propose a scientific approach on how to align human intelligence with artificial intelligence. And so now that paper is based on real world experiences, case studies, and it was finally accepted and published now in Mensa Scientific Journal. So, I mean, that's the highest. I'm not a scientist, I don't even have a degree in science. And here I am writing for the Mensa Journal. So that was a big, exciting thing. But not just for me, but now it is a proven thing that I can hand it over to any organization and say, hey, this is the path that has been vetted, it has been proven, it has been endorsed, so you can like safely implement it and it'll produce the right results.
First of all, Manoj, congratulations. It's no small feat. First of
Thank
all,
you.
you're hanging out with the smartest people on the planet, and that's no small feat either, right? Um,
Absolutely.
Got to be in your
Absolutely.
sharp. I won't ask you, but maybe I will ask you. Did you get AI to write it for you?
What the article? Absolutely, I did, because that's the idea. I feed it my raw thoughts, and then I ask it to do the mundane work of the stuff that I don't want to do, and that I'm just living the example. I'm doing what I'm preaching.
Very interesting. It had to happen at some point, right? We always were talking about IQ constantly from the very early ages. And, now it seems like the smarter people are going to get smarter. And maybe the not so smart people is going to get smarter because if AI is going to augment, if you will, our IQ, then everybody, gets a crack at being, or at least feeling like, what it's like to be smart. Um,
Absolutely.
so, and I think we were still even in the early days, so that 150 IQ may go past
Yeah. Totally.
much
Totally.
faster. So
Totally.
as this goes in, I mean, just to double click on this one point with Mensa, what's the initial thinking? What's everybody's thinking about of how this could augment human intelligence?
Like the world is facing so many problems: climate change, diseases, food shortage, all of these things, right? Now with AI, what is going to happen is we are going to enter an age of abundance. So think about it this way: about 100 years ago, the lowest level of society, which is like 90%, they were like barely surviving, right? Like two pieces of bread for an entire family is what generally they used to get. Now, the current statistics is I think about 64% have food and water in the world. 64%. So its situation has improved, but not by that much. Like 64% is still good. What that means is the industrialization has created abundance for majority of the people. Now they are living, decent lifestyle, and middle class is what people aspire to for their kids and their family. I want to be a middle class person, afford a home, afford a car. With AI, the age of abundance is going to exponentially explode because productivity is going to be high. That means middle class is will be the minimal class of people around the world. Now, how do you get there? How do you draw a line and get people there so that people are not left behind to join that middle class? That is the whole thing. And now people who are in the middle class, they will be able to easily go to the upper middle class to the upper middle class. So that is how the rising tide will lift all the boats. But if the boat doesn't know how to swim, how to like navigate, how to take on the waves that are coming, they are going to drown. They are going to need life jackets. So Mensa is trying to figure out how do we empower all human beings to be ready and put on these life jackets or
Mm.
Iron Man suits and become superhumans. As we just said, like everybody's can be a genius now, and if you're a genius, you are hardworking, you have the time, you have the creativity. I mean, that's all it takes. Even today, this is not different, right?
Mm.
If you have those qualities today, you can be successful.
Interesting that when you get all the smart people in the room to figure out how is AI going to make everybody even smarter.
Correct.
And even them, right? They can augment their intelligence even smarter. And if the world starts to be filled with so many smart people, then where are we going, right? It's an interesting dilemma.
Yeah, see, the thing is, if you start thinking about it, AI is going to enhance your intelligence. So that means the human intelligence is still the seed. So just like a normal seed, if you put a seed for a orange in the ground, it will grow orange tree. So AI is going to enhance your wisdom. It's not going to replace it. So if you don't think about bigger things to be successful, to do, to solve these big problems, AI is still not going to really help you. It really depends on how you use it. But the idea is once you make a decision that, okay, I want to use AI to solve big problems, how do you go about it? How do you navigate it? Just like planting a seed in the earth, you need to water it. You need to give fertilizer. There's the method to grow this plant, and that's what they are researching. How do we grow these intelligent human beings?
Interesting. So I know I believe the ChatGPT version 5.0, I believe, is coming up sometime in June-ish, right? And I start to get some glimpse of what it's going to be. And one of the things it seems to be doing, it's going to help you to, build your own AI agent a lot easier. What are you hearing about the next versions that's coming up of these LLMs?
So mainly what is going to happen, they are going to train these models on larger and larger data sets, which means it's going to become more and more intelligent, more and more detail oriented. It is going to pick up your emotions. It is going to start analyzing the world around you, video, audio, images, all of that. Like it's actually going to start almost kind of replicating human sensory organs, basically sense the world around us. So how much of that will come in ChatGPT 5.0? Not sure, but that's where we are going. It is by the end of this year, it's predicted that all AI platforms will have an IQ of about 1,000, 1,500, and they will be able to perceive the world just like a human can, but with much more intelligence, and will be able to give us a lot of feedback that was never possible before.
I'm starting to see some interesting uses of AI. I know, I believe the ChatGPT version 5.0, I believe, is coming up sometime in June-ish, right? And we I start to get some glimpse of what it's going to be. And one of the things it seems to be doing, it's going to help you to, build your own AI agent a lot easier. in every industry, and one particular one I sort of like got a glimpse of is in the medical field with AI helping pharmacists and doctors to really give a better overview of drug interactions. Apparently, today, it was basically, drugs interacting with certain drugs, and you can't mix this drug with that drug, or you can't do this with grapefruit juice. It was sort of like very basic and rudimentary. And now it is taking a lot more different parameters into consideration. The mixture of the person, the drug mixture, the quantities, the kind of diseases they have, where they are, and there's so many different things that I didn't know there were that many things that could interact with the drugs, and they actually shared some statistics which I completely forgot now, but it actually reduces something like 15% of drug interactions in a negative end. There is even numbers that shows that it will reduce a certain percentage of deaths due to misconfigured drugs with improper interactions. Because as you know, Manuj, right, people are giving up drugs all day long, right, in the pharmacies, and people are human, and sometimes they miss stuff, right? And they're trying to crack this nut at the very least.
Yeah.
What are you hearing? First of all, have you heard about that? And are you hearing things like this?
Many such use cases, right? Like the idea is that human mind is not able, it's not capable, even if you are a genius, it's not capable of handling more than 10, 15 parameters, as you said, like, this drug with this drug in this quantity and all of that. So people try to do the best they can, but as we are so busy, like it's not possible. With AI, there is no such thing. Like it can very quickly figure out, okay, what are the permutations and combinations. This is just the beginning, okay? In my belief, in maybe 5 years or maximum 10 years, there is not going to be a drug that will be prescribed. They will take your DNA and they will say, okay, let me create a drug for you that matches your DNA.
Personalized drugs.
Exactly. So that is where we are going. And now what you're seeing is like baby steps towards that. Okay, let's figure out how to optimize the drugs which already we have. Then slowly they will say, oh, wow, I mean, I see this combination working very well on this disease. So why are we giving them 5 drugs? Let's put them together, create one drug. And then they'll say, oh, you know what? In 5% of the cases, we see some reaction. So let me see what gene reacted with this combination. So then they will say, okay, for this gene, let's create the different portion. And that's, slowly everything will start aligning. But you can see the direction we are going, right?
Yeah. I'm gonna wait until they have that little thing, that robot that you swallow, and the darn thing just lives in your body and goes around and fixes things, like.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. Anyways, I know we're pretending to dream, but this is where we're all headed eventually. It's just we don't have that ability to digest this in reality. It's a little bit too much for our brains to figure out. But bringing this back now to the mere mortals here. We are in the infancy of this AI world. If you look at the grand scheme of things, right? Let's bring the conversation back to MSPs. So the channel community that we serve, of course, we got these MSPs that's got to figure out how to use AI to do things better, and then of course you've got their customers that they've got to help them to use AI better, right? So let's talk first of all about the MSP community. What it is that Manuj, you can do to kind of 1, 2, 3 steps to kind of get them on the path to using AI properly within their organization?
Yeah. So, I'll lean back on the foundational model that we proposed to from Mensa. And the idea here is that you need to think about AI as crude oil. Raw AI is crude oil. You cannot, it's very important and valuable, but you cannot put it in your car. So what you need to do is you need to refine that crude oil into gasoline. How do you do that? You create a private AI that understands your company, your objectives, your vision, your way of thinking, like, the CEO or the founder and their executives, they think in a certain way. Because even if you look at MSP industry, like, every industry is competitive. We are all providing similar services. It's not like, magic. One is selling magic and another one is selling something else. But the key difference is how we approach the problem, how an individual business approaches the problem. So think about an AI which is going to become your major kind of executive in the boardroom, which will understand everything about your company, your way of thinking. So that is your private mind, digital mind. That gets built by sharing whatever wisdom you already have collected, any SOPs, any documents, any like manuals, any training material that you share with your employees. All that knowledge is already accumulated. You feed it to AI, now it becomes your digital mind. Okay, then you attach digital AI agents to this digital mind. So it's almost like the digital mind is your C-suite executive, and AI agents that is talking to this digital mind, they are your team members. This is not to say these AI agents will replace human beings, but they will just give them more ability to do what they are good at. Every employee, there is a metric that most companies measure. What is the revenue per employee, right? Revenue per employee includes the productive work they are doing to. So in an MSP world, the employee will generate revenue by servicing a client, by being on site, by fixing the network, by implementing cybersecurity. But 80% of the rest of the time, they will be entering data into CRM, creating spreadsheets, sending emails. All of that can be offloaded to AI agent. So now they will have 80% more time to serve their clients. That means they should see a 4 to 5x, 400, 500x increase in revenue per employee if they implement AI correctly in this manner, right? So that is what I will suggest. Create this private AI, start understanding where your time is being spent, and then start creating these AI agents that will take away, that repetitive work. And that's basically it.
I was actually, you're bang on. I mean, look, I was speaking to another MSP who was somehow, figured out a few things out with AI, and the number of hours that he saved last year was about 400 and something hours. I forgot the exact number. So then I go, originally I said, well, it doesn't sound like a lot, but 400 hours is a lot of hours, right? And I calculated, I started dividing it by, 35, 40 hours per week. And I go, wow, that's quite a lot of weeks, right, of time. And so I asked the question, did you get the same results, the outcomes of what you would normally do in a working year? And they go, well, that's just the hours I saved. The actual increase in productivity, I haven't been able to measure it because I was able to do so much more that it was never a year where I did that much in that much time. So I was thinking, I was trying to, sit down with them and figure out like what's the real impact, because you're reducing time, but you're also increasing productivity. So it's like you're expanding like this way, right?
Yeah.
And we literally couldn't figure it out. We're thinking, is it like you got 1.5 times, more output if you factor the fact in? I mean, we don't even know how to measure this. I mean, how can you measure it?
I mean, so this is a perfect example of an AI agent that is needed, because every company will want to know what is the ROI on my spend on AI, right? So it starts with data. If you are collecting the data, if you know a certain task used to take this much and now it is taking this much, then it's easier to calculate. But most companies are not that sophisticated. But at the same time, you could think about an AI agent that somehow tracks the activity of a person without AI and with AI. And you can start to create those benchmarks, you know. But most importantly, I will also highlight this point. We as business people, entrepreneurs, business leaders, we tend to measure, okay, how much time was saved, how much cost was saved.
Mm-hmm.
But what is not measurable is how much stress we are saving.
Mm.
You
How
know,
much time we were actually able to spend in de-stress, you
exactly,
know?
exactly.
And I don't even think we measure the output.
Yeah,
At the end of this exercise that I did, we said, well, I mean, who cares? It's just it was a lot.
yeah,
But basically, the biggest measurement was I was able to save this amount of time.
yeah,
And what they did with that time, whether it was pleasure,
yeah, yeah.
going on vacation, relaxing, or doing more work, whatever. I really don't know. Maybe somebody better, maybe AI can figure out an
Well,
equation.
that's the thing. I think this is where human longevity. We were talking about drugs and all that. Why do we have all these diseases? Stress is the major cause of the problem, and stress comes by trying to juggle too many things or manage too many people and all of that stuff. So the immeasurable part will be this human longevity. This getting rid of stress and just trying to live your life with passion, because we are all passionate about what we do, but everything else comes in the way of that passion. And now we have finally a way to get that life back, that dream life we dreamed of when we started the business.
Absolutely. Manuja, every day, I feel the way I describe myself in AI is I'm swimming in the deep end and
Mhm.
diving in the deep end of AI. And
Mhm.
every time I dive down at the bottom of the surface, I see stuff. And I come up
Mhm.
and I look, oh my, I didn't know that existed. And I'm just discovering literally every single day something. And honestly, it's like I don't know, a kid in a candy store.
Absolutely, absolutely.
It's quite extraordinary. So the mission for MSPs here, the takeaway is they've got to think of their world starting with this crude oil, right?
Yeah,
You just got it out of the ground, and then you've got to refine it because you can't, again, like you said, it's a great analogy. You can't put it in your car and drive it.
yeah,
I'm not even sure they would want to try that, but um,
yeah.
you need to refine this, and that's where the refinement comes. And yes, you could probably struggle through this, but I would encourage everybody out there that you need to have someone to kind of help guide you through this process, and that's what Manuj and his team can do. Um, giving just some parameters, right? How long would it take for you to help an MSP to kind of get up to speed, if you will?
I mean, in many cases, it takes 2 hours, 1 hour. We just understand. Okay, oh, this is your bottleneck. Okay, why don't you use this and try it out? That is the initial kind of,
Yep.
just a like a proof of concept, and then to make it robust, a week. It depends on the scope. Here is what I will say: start with baby steps. So if you take one use case, maximum 2 weeks to 4 weeks, we can get this all done, right? But AI is a lifelong journey. This is not something that we say, okay, we'll just do it, and then it's a lifelong journey, because things are moving faster. You will need to keep up. This is a marathon, and you will need to keep running. And just like in any technology, cybersecurity, like IT, new things are coming out every day. We need to learn. We need to continue to sort of grow with the technology. But now the pace and the intensity will be much larger. Just like you said, like you dive into this ocean, you find a new pearl. But as we know, if you work with a professional diver, we can go much deeper. This is very, very deep, right? So the idea is that if you're just starting off, this is what a lot of people have misconception, that it'll take too much time, it'll be too expensive. But you can literally have a major shift in your business within an hour.
Yep. Look, to the MSPs out there, this stuff is not free. All right. Air is free almost, right? But you need to do some. You need to invest And we're not talking a lot of money investment. So you're going to want to have that conversation with Manuj and his team to talk about, just start with a conversation. Here's what's going on. Here's where I am. Here's what I'd like to do. And let Manuj kind of walk you through a kind of a spectrum of things, right? And then start somewhere, get a proof of concept going, and then build out your own journey. But I'm just going to say this very clear, that every dollar you invest in this process today, and I'm going to tell you it'll pay off at least 10x, but in reality, in my head, it's 1,000x, because the darn thing just keeps growing, right? And there's no end. You don't stop. That person I just mentioned to you, who saved 400 plus hours last year with the initial investment that they made to get there, is going to probably save maybe 600 hours this year. And next year it's probably going to be 800 hours. I don't know, but it's not going to be like 200 hours this year, if you know what I mean. The ROI compounds. It's like a compound interest gig. So the sooner you start, the bigger the investment ROI return for you. It's just that simple, right?
Yeah.
So I urge MSPs to stop what they're doing for a moment, right? Digest the game, and understand how to jump in. They may already be on some path journey, right? With AI, but please don't get confused. Your co-pilot and the things that you're using right now, it's AI, but it's not this kind of AI, right? You need to have a personalized AI. So this is the first big message that MSPs, we cannot teach you how to do this, with an online course, my friend. You got to get your hands dirty. You got to roll up your sleeves and get your hands dirty and get it done. And honestly, the best analogy you had there, Manuj, is you do need some professional divers to help you get trained, so you can go deeper. I mean, if you're just learning to do scuba dive, you're going to go to 200 feet right away, right? 10 feet, 20 feet is where you get the, what do you call those special, quick lessons, right? But to go deeper into AI, you need to get professional help, and it takes training and practice. And the better you do this, then you become a professional diver, simple analogy. But you know what? Use whatever analogy you want. But you need professional help to get you wherever you want to go faster. So that's part one, right? Part two is, and while this is going on, you've got to get your customers up and running with AI, right? And I will just say that the best way to do this is by you to start learning how to use AI yourself. And then the light bulb's going to start to go off, right? But now, sometimes, Manuj, end customers are complicated. They're different. They got different needs and so on. And MSPs may not kind of grasp how AI can sort of like play in an entire organization, because they know their MSP business, but they may not know their customer business at that DNA level. And that's, again, the next big opportunity, when they could leverage your wider knowledge to help them do crazy things with AI, the end customers. How does that work?
So very, very good point here, right? So MSPs are going to be playing a very important role in this whole journey. So think of people like me. We are the hydroelectricity power generator who are refining huge amount of AI for people, from crude oil to gasoline. Now, gasoline, the refinery doesn't put gasoline in your car directly. It goes through distribution channels, right? So eventually, from the refinery, it goes into the trucks and the gas station. So MSPs are going to be the gas station of AI, right? Now, the beauty of this is, this model, as they start to replicate and create private AI, they can start to replicate into their customer domain as well. So whatever they are learning here, they will start to learn. They can start to implement into their customer companies, departments, what have you. Whatever AI agents they start to build here, they will start to see common themes in the in the organization they are serving, and they can either create similar AI agent for them, or they can even take the one that they have created and deploy it. So it's like growing your own food. It's like how can I say it? Like, when agriculture became a thing, before that it was hunter gatherers. When agriculture became a thing, they said, okay, you know what, just plant some seeds and chill for 6 months, and then use the same seeds next year. They were like, how is this possible? But no, that is possible. That's the whole reproductive cycle. And AI is exactly that. You implement it in your you are enhancing, refining intelligence for yourself, and in the process you're learning how to refine it for other people. Now, you mentioned Copilot. There are already 30 million businesses across the world using Copilot right now. Most of them are just using it to write a proper email. That's it. Right? So, humongous opportunity to go in there and say, let me show you how to use AI properly, and use the Copilot platform as your private digital mind. Let me show you how to train it so that it understands your company. And the beautiful thing with working with Copilot is you don't even have to upload any. It already has your access to your emails, your SharePoint, your Power BI, all of that. It already understands all of this. So you just need to know how to put all these pieces together and create their digital mind. Like, people, I can tell you, in the past few months, I've had conversations where people have jumped out of their chair as we were showing them, okay, this is possible. They're like, how is this possible? Right?
Amazing.
So 90% savings, like 95% savings in the operational tasks they were doing earlier, more accurate decisions. The biggest pain point I hear from people, leaders, my team is not always in sync.
Mhm.
They don't know what is happening, what is the objective. So think about giving them your digital mind and saying, guys, if you want to make a decision, just consult this as your team member. It will guide you,
Mhm.
and it will remove all the egos from the decision making, all the emotions from the decision making. It will help you to take the right decision, which is in line with our business objective, with our mission.
I really hope that MSPs hear this and get this. A, they've got to get their own AI thing on order, and they're already using some of these AI tools already. You just got to know how to use it better. And as you mentioned, there's tons of people using, these AI platforms already. And the question is just to start there and help them to figure out how to use this better. And as you amaze them with how they can use it better for their own business, that gets you stickier. And the bottom line is you can actually make money with all this, right? So look, Manuj would be a great AI partner for every MSP, and I would encourage you guys to just reach out and have a conversation. Start off the conversation and see exactly how this can work, and share some examples, see how it works, and then you can understand for yourself how you can leverage AI better. Manuj, I think that's a big chunk of the next episode to kind of digest out there.
Yeah.
I'll see you again. Of course, we'll talk for the third episode. And we'll be seeing you soon at the our Channel Next event. So if you want to meet, and I encourage you to come meet Manuj and the team, check out Channel Next and check the next dates and come on down. It's great to see all these things virtually, but when you see them up close and personal, it's a whole different level, my friend.
Yeah.
You get the last word, Manuj. Anything else you want to add before we jump off?
No, I just want to say to all the MSP communities, like, this is your chance to build generational wealth, first of all, but also make a huge impact. Once you, as you said, once you are in a company helping them with AI, you will be their partner forever. Like, when I start filling a gas with Chevron, no matter what other gas station is there, I always find a Chevron, right? So think about it this way, and there is no other sure bet. Like, I have, like, people say, oh, let's invest in Bitcoin. Where is this economy going? I can tell you, no matter what happens in the world, there is no other sure bet than this. Yeah.
I agree. I agree totally. And I think this is this next era we're moving into is where trillionaires
Yeah.
are going to be is going to be formed. The last decade was billionaires.
Yeah.
Before that was millionaires.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to trillionaires. I don't know if there's something after trillionaires, but
Yeah.
I think it's enough, isn't it? So
Yeah.
we shall see, my friend. Sometimes I wonder where, how far are we going to, see this in the future? But I have a feeling that we can only see so far right
Yes,
now,
absolutely.
and it's going to be much farther than we can ever see. It's like we're looking through maybe a binoculars, and the next step is maybe we haven't even started looking through a telescope yet. But who knows?
Yeah, I will go even further, because this is a quotation from Sundar Pichai. He's the CEO of Google, that AI is more impactful than fire or electricity. So think about us as cavemen walking out of the cave right now.
Man, I'm just gonna keep digesting this stuff as we go, my friend. And again, the mission is to help the channel, right, with to solve this problem. And why the channel is important is because you are the gatekeepers of all the end customers. So you get it right with AI, you get your customers to get it right with AI, we all win. So
absolutely.
More to come. ... Episode 3 is on its way. Digest this, share it with your folks, and look forward to seeing you soon, Manuj. Cheers.
Same. Thank you so much. Thank you.